Now, last week, Tuesday, the Industrial Court dismissed an industrial relations offense by the Public Services Association, which sought to prevent WASA from engaging in its restructuring exercise. And in Parliament last Friday, the opposition leader claimed that over 2,500 workers will be on the breadline as a result of the WASA restructuring exercise. Here to tell us more about this is the Minister of Public Utilities, Mr. Marvin Gonzales. Minister, good morning.
Good morning, Kimberly. Good morning, Rokas. Good morning to your team here at the TTT studio. And of course, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and my constituency of Lupino, Borneo West.
Always love that you big up your constituency.
Oh yes. I had a busy day yesterday in my constituency. We met the Miss Trinidad and Tobago Miss Universe candidate, Tajane.
Yes.
She's also a Tajane. Yeah. And she's a constituent of mine. She's from the Five Rivers community.
Okay.
And we had a number of other constituency activities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Minister, while that was good news, I want to focus on what happened last week on Friday, right? Well, last week Friday, because the opposition leader claims that as per documents she received, 2,500 employees of WASA will be sent home. Is this true?
I don't know what document she was referring to. I was hoping that she was leveling, and she could have leveled with the population and explained to the population what document she was referring to. In my response to her, I reminded the country and I reminded the Parliament that the government never approached the transformation of WASA in secrecy. As a matter of fact, the first document that we put together, which was the transformation, not the transformation, but an in-depth analysis of WASA, that document was laid in Parliament in 2021, early 2021. And if anybody cares to know what the government feels about WASA and its, whether the company or the authority is delivering upon its mandate to the people of Trinidad and Tobago to provide a clean water supply and wastewater services, you can refer to the document and you would see everything. How we feel about that organization was never held in secret. And a couple months ago, we approved the transformation plan, and that transformation plan was submitted to the Board of Commissioners for implementation. I held a news conference, and I told the country, the contents of the transformation plan, and that the objective is to restructure the management of WASA in the first phase, all right? And I told the country that WASA has a management structure of 426 employees, and therefore we thought that it was necessary to address the management issues in WASA. And as we move throughout the entire organization, we will continue to update the organization, update the country on the restructuring of WASA. Now, the document the opposition leader was referring to is a business plan, a draft business plan, a working document that was being prepared by the management of WASA for the Regulated Industries Commission. Because again, I always level the population that WASA is preparing itself for a rate review at some point in time. And in preparation for that rate review, a business plan must be prepared by the authority for the Regulated Industries Commission, as well as your cost of service, and a number of other studies and documents that the authority would have to put together. And apparently, she got a working draft of that business plan that was dated maybe earlier on this year or last year.
So, Minister,
and she
where
came
does the
waving this
2,500
document.
come in? Where does the 2,500 come in? Is that for the employees? Is it, because I know that she saw that 25, so that's only draft document.
She got a copy of a working draft document that was being prepared by the management of WASA for the Regulated Industries Commission.
Right.
And she came to Parliament accusing the government of Trinidad and Tobago of having some secret plan to retrench 2,500 workers of WASA.
But is that the plan for WASA, Minister? Is WASA going to retrench these 2,500 workers?
That document, Kimberly, is a working document, is a document that's been prepared by the management of WASA. It was never submitted to the Ministry of Public Utilities. It was never approved or submitted to the Cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago. So therefore, the opposition leader is engaging in mischief when she came to the Parliament and accused the government of having some secret plan, waiving this working document being prepared by the authority, and accusing the government of having a strategy and a plan to retrench 2,500 workers. Nothing could be further from the truth. It is mischievous, and I would encourage the opposition leader to behave responsibly, because she's a member of parliament, she's a former prime minister, she holds the prestigious office of opposition leader, and she ought to conduct herself far better than that.
Well, let's look at the management structure. We have these 426 employees who, is it that their contracts are coming to an end and they will need to reapply? How will that work?
Yes, so the board, very soon, the board of commissioners, they will be advertising for the new positions in the new management structure. So I anticipate that perhaps by the end of this month, you would see in the newspapers advertisements for a CEO and senior managers and what have you. Once the new executive structure is approved by the board, then I expect the board to do what it's supposed to do, meet with the current, because all of the managers in there, especially the executive managers, they're in acting positions. None of them are confirmed in their positions, and we are hoping that this is an opportunity to confirm people, because it's not good. It's not, it's not good to have an organization or to run an organization where everybody is acting and you're not too sure whether or not your contract is going to be renewed for the next 3 months or the next 6 months. That's not the way in which you operate an organization, especially an organization that is responsible for providing the people of Trinidad and Tobago with water. So that new executive structure, the board is going to approve it. Once it is approved, then the board will now move towards advertising the positions, and people within the organization, be it in the current executive structure or junior positions, if you are entitled, if you are qualified for these positions, or any national Trinidad and Tobago, whether you live in Trinidad and Tobago regionally, internationally, you can all apply for some of the positions that will be advertised.
But Minister, the understanding is not all 426 will be hired,
no,
so there will be some who may be out of jobs as a result.
So we're certainly not going with a management structure of 426 of executive and non-executive position. The Cabinet Subcommittee report that we laid in Parliament in 2021, early 2021, we took issue with the fact that you have a management structure of 426. And when you compare that with other utility companies around the world, especially in Trinidad, with TNTech, certainly doesn't have that kind of management structure. And we saw that as one of the bugbear of, that is preventing the organization from being managed properly. It is not properly streamlined. It is mired in bureaucracy. A simple decision will take weeks because of the different levels of management that exist. So we thought that was something that we needed to address very early in the transformation. So certainly with a more streamlined management structure, perhaps a 220 something or 225 managers, it certainly means that 200 and something of the current managers will either have to be redeployed within the organization, or the board will have to enter into discussions with them with respect to their separation from the organization.
So Minister, how soon can we see these advertisements going out? Is it that people may be out of a job by Christmas?
I think these remember there's a process.
Right.
And the first stage is to approve the new positions, put out the advertisements out in the newspapers, invite people to apply, and then you go through a whole period of interviews and
basically the recruitment process.
The entire recruitment process.
Yes.
So I anticipate that very early in the new year, the new managers will take up office within the organization.
Okay, and what are some of those positions? Because I know CEO is a hotly debated one.
Of course.
And I also know as well that people were kind of concerned that WASA was opening this up to the region, because it's almost as if, why not leave it in TNT, where TNT-born nationals can apply?
When we say the region, we're talking about citizens who live in the region. All of these positions can only be occupied by citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. That's our plan. But we are aware of the fact that you have citizens who are employed in all over the region. They are doing well, especially in the utility sector. We have citizens who are employed in the utility sector in Grenada, in Jamaica, and all over the world. And we're inviting those citizens who may wish to now be part of this transformation in Trinidad, in the Water and Sewage Authority, that they are free to apply for these jobs and come back and give their service to their beautiful country.
Now, Minister, you would have gotten an allocation about $2.3 billion for the budget. $2.5 billion. What are some of your plans for that allocation?
Right. So we've already started putting together our water improvement program. We have identified a number of key projects that we would like to undertake very, very early in the new financial year, the rehabilitation of the Caroni water treatment plant. We believe that once that plant is properly rehabilitated in the new financial year, we can get an extra 5 million gallons of water. The North Urupuch water treatment plant, we're expecting after this rehabilitation to increase its production to about another 5 million gallons of water. We are looking at putting 2 modular water treatment plants in the Grande area with a combined total of 10 million gallons of water per day. Simply mean that most of the communities in the Sangre Grande, Vega de Urupuch, Manzanilla area, they will move to 24/7 water supply. And by so doing, you free up a lot of the water in North Urupuch to send in the other direction, thereby resulting in a 24/7 water supply, because the North Urupuch water treatment plant will not have to be divided between east of the country and west. We're looking at the Navette water treatment plant. We're looking to do some serious upgrades there. The Freeport water treatment plant, especially in areas where communities get water once every 9 days. So we are targeting those communities that get water once every 9 days or below 24/3, meaning 24 hours, 3 days a week. So we are strategically going after those communities to increase and improve their water supply. So the Freeport area is one of those areas that we are targeting, as well as in the Cedros area. The Cedros area, a lot of these communities get water, Granville, once every 9 days. So we're looking to put a plant down in the Cedros area with a capacity of producing 1 million gallons of water per day. And we expect that that will move their schedule to 24/7 water. And of course, we are looking to complete the desilting of the Hillsborough Dam in Tobago and the Colon water treatment plant, a number of projects that we wish to undertake in Tobago that will impact the water supply in a very, very positive way. And I can tell you too, that when you understand the mechanism of government, I mean, I'm in this thing now 2 years, normally what happens in the public service, once a budget is passed, then the public service will now go into preparation for these projects. And that takes sometimes 6 months before you go out for tender and you reach close to the midterm review and you're now looking to start some of these projects. So I realized that we certainly can't do business. So before the end of this fiscal year, I got my team to identify some of these key projects, start doing project preparation and profile, start preparing your tender documents, your contract documents, etc., so that as soon as you get your allocation and the budget is passed, you can immediately go out for tender. So that by the end of the year, very early next year, some of these projects will start coming into fruition, where the citizens can start feeling the impact of these very, very important projects early in the new year.
Now, Minister, one of the issues that has been plaguing WASA is the revenue. How are you planning to generate revenue in for WASA during this new fiscal year?
That is very, very important, and you would recognize that a couple months ago, WASA put out an amnesty in the newspapers inviting a number of the consumers of its product, its water, to come in and to regularize their status, because we recognize that you have over 100,000 consumers of water that are not regularized. They're not paying their bills. A number of people who are occupying HDC communities, they're not paying their bills. They're not regularized as customers. So and that is a lot of money being lost by the utility company. So we have put out this amnesty, inviting people to come in, people with illegal connections as well, to come in and have their status regularized so that they can now start to pay.
How long is the period, Minister?
It is continuing. I think it is. Okay. It's about 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
I'm not too sure whether the board extended the period, but we're asking citizens of this country to capitalize on this opportunity, because it provides you with a platform to become a legitimate customer of WASA, and it allows the utility company to receive a revenue for the service and the water that it is producing to those customers. And by so doing, it will certainly improve the revenue situation within the authority. And we're expecting that, based on the analysis and the studies that were done, that we can move WASA's revenue from $700 million per year, $700 million per year, to at least $1 billion, thereby, getting an increased revenue by $300 million once we start to pursue the strategy. And you see, once you do that, it means that the utility company will now be able to undertake its routine and preventative maintenance, get all its pumps up and running, get all your plants undertake pipeline maintenance, replacement of pipeline, responding to leaks in a timely manner, the utility company can now stand on its legs and to be able to improve its supply, as opposed to occupying residents in the Ministry of Finance to do almost every single thing. We certainly cannot run a utility company like that.
Right. Well, Minister, thank you so much for coming in and joining us. I wanted to delve on tea and tech and all the others, but we'll have you back in again.
We have a lot more to talk about.
Exactly, because we didn't even get to TT Post, but we'll get to that eventually.
But thanks for the
But
opportunity.
thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
That was the Minister of Public Utilities, Mr. Marvin Gonzales, just clearing the air in terms of the restructuring exercise for WASA. You're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. Stay with us.